Hey guys, here's a summary of the most interesting research I saw since the last monthly roundup. So, researchers at Stanford University found that lifetime cancer risk rose in children 1.85 times higher than it did for adults due to benzene from natural gas in homes. At this point, it's not news that natural gas causes cancer, but the increased risk for children is important to know about. As we can see in the diagram, leaving windows wide open, not just cracked, makes a huge difference. The study also shows that elevated benzene levels remain in the house after 4.75 hours. Next up, we have an article from The Guardian that weight loss jabs could halve risk of obesity-related cancers. A quote from the article is, "Biologically, this makes sense, as targeting GLP-1 dampens down inflammation, one of the hallmarks of cancer." End quote. With all of the stigma surrounding these jabs and obesity itself, it's so useful to keep in mind that obesity comes with many health problems of its own. Next up, we have that vitamin D supplementation maintains leukocyte telomere length. A quote from the study is that 4 years of supplementation with 2,000 international units per day of vitamin D3 reduced telomere attrition by 140 base pairs. End quote. Telomere shortening may increase risks for chronic disease and overall mortality, though it needs more research. As the study introduction states, vitamin D supplementation has previously been associated with reduced incidence of advanced cancer and autoimmune disease. Next up, we have Apigenin may reduce senescence and cancer. A quote from the study is that, taken together, our study supports the possibility that Apigenin, a plant-derived flavonoid, can effectively alleviate age-related disorders, as exemplified by increased anti-cancer efficacy, improved physical function, and enhanced cognitive behavior of prematurely aged mice. Apigenin is on my radar, and I like the methodology of this study. It's particularly cool to see that real-world results like grip strength, balance, coordination, and motor learning return to youthful levels after Apigenin. By far the highest food sources of Apigenin are celery seeds, spinach, and parsley. Next up, we have that dietary methionine restriction started late in life promotes healthy aging in mice. This study showed that methionine restriction, defined as reducing methionine as a proportion of protein from the usual 0.86% to 0.17% in mice, improves neuromuscular function, reduces weight while increasing lean mass, improves plasma metabolic markers, returns methionine to youthful levels, decreases frailty in aged mice, and improves renal and lung function. Methionine content is generally higher in muscle meat than other foods, so this might somewhat explain why vegetarians tend to live longer than meat eaters. You can reduce your methionine intake while eating meat by eating more organ meats instead of only muscle meats. Longevity expert Siim Lund talks about methionine a lot, so I bet this one's on his radar as well. This next one is good news for a lot of us. Coffee consumption appears to contribute to cancer prevention and healthy aging overall. This comprehensive review is impressive, with 185 references. It finds mostly positive effects on aging and cancer, with the notable exception of lung cancer, which was consistently associated with coffee consumption. Here we have some more good news. Dark chocolate improved recovery and performance in athletes, particularly females. Consuming 30 grams per day of 85% dark chocolate, especially for females during the most hormonally sensitive menstrual phases, reduced delayed onset muscle soreness and improved reaction time. It's great to see this study pay such close attention to the different menstrual cycle phases, and it's even better to see more high-quality studies done on CrossFit athletes. Next up, we have that creatine supplementation may help depression. Creatine is having a real moment lately, with studies finding all kinds of positive brain effects. This is one to add to the pile, showing preliminary evidence that creatine supplementation, along with cognitive behavioral therapy, is more effective than cognitive behavioral therapy alone. Next, we have that spirulina improved mental health and sleep quality and latency. This placebo-controlled study provided promising evidence for sleep and depression with spirulina tablet supplementation. There are a lot of trendy sleep supplements out there like magnesium, tart cherry, and melatonin, so it's cool to see the good old spirulina potentially added to the list. Next up, we have that a diet rich in methyl adaptogens reduces epigenetic age. This study found that methyl adaptogens like turmeric, green tea, oolong tea, rosemary, garlic, and berries can reduce epigenetic age, and the effect is larger for those whose epigenetic age is older than their chronological age. This is thought to be because the polyphenol content of those foods and drinks modulate the methylome. Epigenetic age calculators have their weak points when it comes to specific details, but I think most people broadly agree that an age reduction on these clocks is positively associated with health. Next is that plastics in everyday objects may disrupt sleep in the same way as caffeine. A quote from the article by The Guardian is that the study looked at chemicals extracted from a PVC medical feeding tube and a polyurethane hydration pouch, like those used by long-distance runners. PVC and polyurethanes are also used in everything from kids' toys to food packaging to furniture. End quote. This in vitro study provides evidence that these common forms of plastic affect the adenosine receptor system. It's common to see polyurethane marketed as an eco-friendly and healthy form of plastic, so this is particularly useful research to help us avoid that greenwashing. Next, we have that fiber and oats can reduce absorption of forever chemicals. A quote, again from The Guardian, is that PFAs have been linked to cancer, birth defects, decreased immunity, high cholesterol, kidney disease, and a range of other serious health problems. End quote. This makes sense because fiber has already been shown to reduce absorption of everything, which is one reason why it is effective for weight loss. Fiber creates a physical gel-like barrier that blocks the gut from absorbing some of what you eat, so that the fiber, along with a greater percentage of your food, end up in the toilet. Next, we have that the Shingles vaccine can reduce risk of stroke and heart attack. There's a broader picture being drawn in recent years relating to the long-term effects of viruses that were once ubiquitous. Thanks to vaccines, we now have large groups of people to compare against and finally see what the effects of those viruses has been. It's worth noting that this study was done on the live vaccine with a weakened virus, so it will be interesting to see if the same effect is seen for the recombinant vaccine that's gaining popularity, Shingles. Finally, we have that sauna after exercise increases benefits. A quote from the study is that the addition of a regular 15-minute typical Finnish sauna after exercise supplemented the gains in cardiorespiratory function, reductions in systolic blood pressure, and lowered total cholesterol levels considerably. End quote. Seeing such gains in VO2 max after relatively short sauna sessions is encouraging. Personally, I put a lot of work to maximize my VO2 max because of the health and longevity benefits, and I also sauna regularly, so this is affirming for me to see. I'd love to read any comments you have, and please make sure to subscribe to my newsletter or YouTube channel if you want to see more content like this.